Who doesn't want to be successful and wealthy? We frequently ponder what it would be like to be rich and possess everything in the world. However, watch this video first and see what the wealthy do to live in luxury and what they do to protect their loved ones and themselves. I'm sure it's not going to be that simple. Number 1. Assistants. Executive assistants and PAs are one of the two most common types of help. Executive assistants serve as a buffer for all current undertakings in the lives of the extremely wealthy. This person is in charge of keeping the managers in line, they are privy to the passwords, have the authority to make changes, or are in the task of removing material that rises to the top. PAs are the second category. This individual ensures that schedules are followed and that you get to your destination on time. Generally speaking, PAs hold a higher status than EAs because they can access some of the more intimate details of a person's life. Your PA and EA are the two persons you're most likely to approach first, regardless of the situation. Number 2. Personal chef. Since this is a common feature of what was once considered a privilege of the wealthy, you probably anticipated finding it here. We'll start by breaking down the essentials for you. Time is the most valuable thing to rich people. They'll rationalize the cost of whatever service they can outsource to someone else to free up their time. Be very careful, since this does not imply that they merely relax and wait for the others to take care of their needs. One should only make time available if one knows how they use it for something better. One of them is nutrition and the act of cooking. You may still enjoy a meal with your family without going through the hassle of buying raw ingredients if you have one of these. Number 3. Private security. Chances are, unless you're outrageously wealthy, you've never even heard of the brands listed below. Max, that are Centagon, Interarmored, or Armored. These businesses offer commercial vehicles with armor, a market that, by the way, has grown tremendously over the previous 10 years. Rich people are purchasing bulletproof cars at an increasing rate, not merely to reduce the danger of being shot, but also to improve the likelihood of surviving in any scenario. Rich beginners will choose private security from a reputable provider like G4S or CACI. People with more credible notoriety will work with companies like Brinks or DynCorp. Depending on the situation, there are more or less hired military or intelligence personnel. Number 4. Publicist and PR. Almost all of the information you read about wealthy individuals results from someone trying to influence how they are viewed. These people make sure the world sees your best attributes. They exert pressure on the media to report your achievements and cover up any blemishes on your resume. No matter how much money you have, things don't always turn out as expected. For example, Beyonce spent a lot of cash attempting to get this picture off the internet. As you can see, it was successful. Number 5. Cybersecurity. Home and online security are commonplace challenges plaguing the general populace in recent years. However, the wealthy have been paying more for this for years. Simple logic dictates that larger targets are placed on your back by others who want a piece of your wealth, the more of it you have. Starting with your email, calendar, and cloud accounts, ending with the simple home cameras and alarms. In practically every modern home, intelligent locks, ring doorbells, and Nest Cams are necessities. Number 6. Private wealth management. Do you know how you're always looking for ways to invest your money or earn more cash? The wealthy have not just one person doing things for them, but an entire team. They look for the best openings and take advantage of them. The millionaire made wise choices to keep increasing their riches. The typical wealthy person invests their money in index funds like Vanguard, which is the best option for most of you. Having said that, there are those people who consistently outperform the market. But attempting to rule the globe, those additional few percentage points at the end of the year mean everything. Number 7. Access to private airstrips or closed-off geographies. As we already stated, time is the most valuable resource for the wealthy. Private jets exist primarily because of this. I need to get there immediately without dealing with the insanity of conventional travel. The ultra-rich can reduce commuting times by using one of the many private aviation strips available. Personal life is the second most important thing to these folks, and not being harassed by the outside world while they spend time with their family or consider what they would do with their lives after that. There are private resorts that only accept members by invitation and have a minimum net worth. Among these is the Ford Tower in Singapore, the Ladera Resort in the Caribbean, and the Hilltop development at Laucala in Fiji. As you would have guessed, numerous other excluded locations are unknown to the general population. This is one of the reasons wealthy people invest in their island or luxurious villas with helipad access. You want to enjoy some alone time and make it challenging to run into people. Number 8. Personal item tracker. We recognize that you anticipate receiving legal services or anything that make this list. Of course, wealthy people have lawyers, but that's pretty much inevitable. And there were other things you didn't know, like a private tracker. They have one. Most of these people invest in scarce goods, whether they are works of art, collectibles, timepieces, or anything else. The issue is that the best ones should be listed on eBay. Once every few decades, they can become available for purchase and private agreements. What do you do to ensure you have a chance to bring home the bacon? You employ a person to seek down and obtain whatever you desire. These experts travel the globe for this. Number 9. Personal trainer and medic. What's the use of having so much money if you can't enjoy it as long as you can? Ask a personal trainer and a doctor. As you may anticipate, practically all wealthy people take their health very, very seriously. Fitness is handled by personal trainers and nutritionists who work directly with the private chefs to maximize your meals. But it goes much further than that. If something were to occur, such as you cannot count on phoning 911 to send an ambulance if you're having a heart attack or a stroke, you're just idling away time. They rely on private medical services in situations like this. A helicopter is flown straight to your location when you press the panic button with practically anything. You need to stabilize the patient without allowing them to continue the operation. Number 10. Private therapist, priest, or a life and meditation coach. When you have unlimited resources, you need to be focused, considering hiring a private therapist, a priest, or life and meditation coach. This is one of the main reasons why most affluent people have a mentality counselor on the staff. This can be a therapist assisting them in overcoming anxiety or trauma from their early years. A priest offers spiritual direction and explanations of what lies on the other side, or a life and meditation coach who can assist you in directing your attention and energy toward your upcoming significant goals. You could have hired Jordan Peterson as your psychiatrist before he became a multimillionaire from anywhere to $200 to $500 per hour. On TV series like Silicon Valley, it has become a joke that many tech CEOs also have a spiritual counselor. But what happens when you're in a complex negotiation or a well-known athlete is trying to figure out how you can go beyond the next challenge and give your all? You work with a qualified coach like Tony Robbins. His daily coaching price is in the neighborhood of $1 million. Number 11. Life and property insurance. What's the big deal? We're all aware that you also have a home and life insurance. Well, does your life insurance cover kidnappings? The wealthy receive distinct benefits from their subscription, including paying for SWAT teams and expert negotiators to manage this kind of scenario. The same method occurs if one of your prized possessions is stolen or is in danger of being misplaced. Imagine that everything goes wrong and there are floods, riots, and tornadoes. Where you reside or where your private collection is located being hit by anything you can think of. The insurance company will transport your artwork or belongings from the danger zone using helicopters and specially trained personnel. Number 12. Country clubs and memberships to private groups. What's the big deal about country clubs? In essence, it's a private networking environment for the wealthy. Yes, you receive access to the spa, cigars, tennis courts, and other amenities. It's difficult to make friends when you're rich because nearly no one can connect your hardships and everyone wants something from you. Thus, that's different from why people join one. Therefore, country clubs emerge as a venue for like-minded people to meet up, similar to how your drunken loser pals hang out at the neighborhood pub. Identical to that, but you meet prospective business partners. Many billionaires have closed more lucrative transactions on the golf course rather than informal meetings. This explains why wealthy people are golf maniacs. Spending the day outdoors, you move around and converse with individuals who share your interests, have fun while enriching one another. Number 13. Elite nannies. You won't believe how fiercely competitive the market is for elite nannies is. Billionaires are competing for particular nannies because if you find the ideal one, you have to commit for several years. Referrals are frequently the most critical employment factor in closed circuits. Most of their time will be spent with your kids, filling in the gaps you're leaving. Nannies are more than just babysitters. Some of them are licensed coaches and can speak 3 or more languages. Give the child the resources and emotional support they need to develop in the parents' preferred direction. These nannies bring home over $100,000 annually. They don't have to pay rent or food. Therefore, they spend most of their time in mansions and expensive vehicles. Number 14. Multiple passports and offshore private banking. This is where things start to get intriguing or murkier. Getting a second or third passport is typically one of the first things wealthy individuals do. This enables them to visit other nations that would be off limits because of their primary nationality. Typically, this is quite profitable for business. You've worked hard to earn your money and now you want to ensure you and your family will be taken care of no matter what. Private banking services have emerged in offshore jurisdictions in this way. Up until the recent incident, Panama was a significant country. But did you notice how it all vanished and that no one is bringing it up anymore? To mention a few, there are Seychelles, Cyprus, Belize, Malta, the British Virgin Islands, and others. Hong Kong has long been favored the location in Asia for conducting business. You would establish a company in Hong Kong with low to nearly no taxes and a market waiting to be conquered. Rich people have used these financial tools to show emergency funds, hide property, and pay as little tax as possible. Number 15. High net worth dating. Dating is a significant issue for affluent people. Simply put, you don't have the time to complete it in the same manner as anyone else. Since you are essentially trapped, you're managing the portfolio of your multiple businesses. What do you do then? The most common scenario is when you read something or run into someone at an event that piques your curiosity. Then you request that your PA arrange a meeting with the other person's PA. You already know that my people are setting up a date with your folks. It's not at all different from high school. The only difference is more money involved. However, there is a bit of a market here, and it is far more challenging for high net worth women to find a partner than for males. Age, net worth, and social expectations are all factors. Women still want men who are at least as capable as they are, if not more. Feminists that we would like the world to be. This isn't a significant issue, but when you're young and in the middle class. But things are different when you're 38, have a net worth of over $50 million, and have put in at least 60 hours per week. Looking at this list, you can see that being wealthy is far more complicated than it initially appears to be, which brings us to the question we wanted to ask you. Which one of these services would you choose if you could have one in your life? The wealth management service is the most obvious, but we're interested to know if you think that other services have even more value. There we go. Then, although we all desire wealth, we were unaware of how difficult it was to achieve. I hope the video was entertaining and you learned something from it. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more upcoming videos like this one.